Hey everybody. Please discard my breakouts because I did start and my skin's angry at me. And I could have, put on makeup and stuff to do this, but I'm not in the mood. Today we are going to talk about fear. Sorry, I've got some allergies going, so my nose is running. It's driving me nuts. We're going to talk about fear. They gave 2 calls I had this morning. The first one was for Liberty Mutual, who's handling my disability claim. And the second one was from my job. And if y'all don't know, I started with my job back in March of 2015. Was it 2015? 2016. 2016. In August, I believe it was August, I had to go on a disability leave for my Crohn's, and that lasted about 7 months, 8 months, and I ended up having 3 surgeries during it, and about 4 different hospitalizations, week-long hospitalizations. And then I got back to work in February, and then on May 15th, I went back out because I was in the hospital for a week with my Crohn's, and we had a laparoscopic diagnostic surgery because my colonoscopy showed a stricture, and then when they went in, they didn't see one. So I was discharged after a week, and I came home, and I still wasn't feeling well at all. I was extremely fatigued, and then within that week is when I found the lump. And then within 3 weeks, I was, in my primary care doctor's office getting my breast exam, and then, sent for the mammogram and all that. So that was kind of the timeline of things with my job. They contacted me this morning because I was having issues where Liberty Mutual, how they do it is they'll extend your short-term disability so far into the future, and you have to keep updating it with your doctor's information. And I had happened to have twice where they hadn't updated it fast enough, and when it shows on the computer, it shows where date they updated it to, and it has the next day after as your return to work date, even though my doctor hasn't given one. So with that, I am not currently covered under FMLA at my job. That is because even though I have been there over a year, I have not worked the allotted amount of hours that you have to work. It's 1,250 to be able to be covered because of my leave last year. So I have to be approved on disability to keep my job, basically. I'm not on protected leave right now. And so during those 2 times, I got a call from my job saying, this needs to be updated, or, just letting you know you're not on protected leave. As in, hey, you can get fired for being out right now if this isn't updated and showing that you are currently approved on leave, as it's showing on the computer that you should have been back on, this date. Well, the last time that happened, I completely freaked out. It was right after my PET scan, and I called Liberty Mutual, and they're like, you know what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and extend it out till, middle of August, and we're going to switch it over to long term since I have cancer, and this is going to be a long road. I'm going to have 18 rounds of chemo. I'm going to be having a bilateral mastectomy in December, January time. Then I'll have radiation and chemo for 8 more months. I'm not sure if the radiation will be the full 8 months, but I know I'll have radiation with my chemo after the surgery, and then reconstructive surgery. So this is a lengthy process, and I'm on a very aggressive and invasive chemo treatment, to the point that just with my first dose of my chemo, my hair was actually literally falling out by the handfuls before my fundraiser on Saturday. It started on Friday. It started falling out just every time I put my hands through it. Handfuls of hair is falling out. And typically that doesn't really happen until like your second or third chemo. So it's really aggressive. And I get it every 21 days, but for 2 weeks after the chemo, I'm having the side effects from it. The throwing up, the diarrhea, the not being able to eat, the body aches all over. just lots of pain and really difficult to get through. And the medicines I have to take to get me okay and not like just severely sick make me tired and unfocused, and I'm not all there. Like, some of them are controlled substances that they consider for medication. Others are like, if you've ever been on nausea medication, you know how sleepy it makes you and things like that. So it's something that I can't really, say I can focus and do my job, while that's going on. And in between those, I'm having a doctor's appointment with my gynecologist every week. I'm having iron infusions, or I'm having 2 this week. And that's because they're having to fight my anemia while I'm on the chemo, because the chemo makes you have anemia. I already have it. It's already too low. So they're having to do infusions in order to get that back up. And if you've ever been low on iron in your body, that alone wipes you out. So there's many factors that go into me not really being able to be on intermittent leave. If I did a cut down on my hours, I'm not exactly sure how that could work. It's like, oh, I can work from like 1 to 4 on Thursday this week, so it really needs to be a situation where my long-term disability is approved. Well, right now it's pending. They just started it. My caseworker couldn't get a hold of me last week because I let her know, I'm going to have hydrations at 1 o'clock. And from 1 o'clock to, say 3, I'm not going to be available to speak because I'm in the middle of, getting these hydration and treatments. And every time she said she called me, she realized it was, 1 o'clock. So we hadn't been able to speak directly in a week. In the between there, I did get the paperwork for the long-term disability. I filled it all out and put it back in the mail the next day. So that was mailed out on Saturday. So I've done my part. And then now she has to reach out to my doctors and talk to them. And now my disability has a pre-existing condition clause. If there's anything that was treated for 3 months prior to when I went live with their disability plan, that's considered a pre-existing condition, and then you're not covered for that leave. This is where it gets tricky. Okay, my company was bought out. They went effective as of January 1st of 2017, but I at the same place, but it's underneath different management now because it was bought out. So our insurance changed, our who handles our disability changed. It used to be MetLife, now it's Liberty Mutual changed. So in October, even though I was on leave, I was being treated for my Crohn's, so that will be a pre-existing condition, okay? Now, when I originally went on leave, it was for my Crohn's. That switched 2 weeks after, 1 week or 2 weeks, I can't remember, after I went on leave. But I'm on leave right now, and have been since, June, for my stage 3 breast cancer. So that's not a pre-existing condition. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen there. Now, if I'm forced to go back to work, I'm just going to have to do it. And do I look forward to being in pain because I can't sit in my chair and throwing up in my, desk trash can and running to the bathroom every 15 minutes because of diarrhea? No. I have to be on the phone. I get incoming calls from providers that are doing Medicaid inquiries about their claims for Indiana, and I have to let them know if it's been paid or not. It's a position where you have to be on the phone. You can only be off for your lunch and 30 minutes extra, which is basically your 2 15-minute breaks. With my side effects, that's not going to be good for me. Will I do it? Hell yes, because I have to take care of my family. And even though I'm only getting like 40% of what my normal take is, because, they also take out for my insurance, and they take out for taxes, and they take out for all the extra things that I have, like dental and vision, so it ends up being like 40% of my normal take-in monthly. We still need that, we're going to be, we are struggling right now alone, let alone if that gets taken away. And then my insurance goes away, and trying to get another insurance while you're going through cancer treatment is very difficult because of the pre-existing clauses. And that can stop my treatment for a while if I can't afford to get it, if I don't have my insurance. And that's terrifying because that means that during that time period, my cancer can grow and spread because of company politics. So, what we are going to claim is that this is all going to get done correctly and that it's going to get approved quickly and that we're not going to have any problems because I need my insurance to stay. I need to be able to go to my chemo and have no stalling in between because this cancer is aggressive. So we're going to claim that nobody finds any kind of loopholes. I hate being in limbo about it because even if it's concrete, yes, this should be approved, it is still limbo. And what can they do in the meantime while it's pending? You know, you can understand from a company standpoint, but understanding it at a human level is completely different. So I know from experience from last time too, it is so hard to deal with this and make the calls to your doctor's offices because some of them just aren't speedy. I don't envision my oncologist or anything like that having any issues. All the doctors that I have seen during this, they're pretty good about getting back immediately. But I do know from last year that there are doctors that aren't. And having to worry about that, having to make those phone calls, having to go up to their office and beg for your records and beg for them to, sign these papers saying you weren't treated with them 3 months prior and all that kind of stuff. You're already sick. And having to deal with that on top of it just to be able to get the little scraps that you are getting. It is just so draining. So draining. And it's not fair, if you get your diagnosis, that should be enough. The way insurance companies and things are run in the US right now, from someone who's chronically ill anyways without having cancer, it's all about the bottom line. And it's not contoured to being compassionate towards the actual person that's going through it. Once my doctor gives you my diagnosis, I shouldn't have to prove anything else. I have cancer. I'm going through chemo. I will have to have surgeries. I shouldn't have to do anything else. I should be able to get the rest and be able to not have the anxiety and the added stress of worrying about stuff like this. And it's not just me. It's people that have Crohn's. It's people that have MS. It's people who have lupus. It's, across the board. We have to deal with this when we go on leaves. And then, if you do get let go from your position and you get a new one, then you have to wait the allotted amount of time to be able to be seen because it's a pre-existing condition. And, you have to worry about if you'll be able to get hired because even though you rocked at your job, you had attendance issues because you were sick. Things like that. And, sometimes you're not sick enough to be approved for Social Security, and Social Security is nothing compared to the money that you can make while you're working. So, it's a catch-22 situation that you feel like you're set in. And just because I've had these calls today is, it's particularly on my mind, but my heart bleeds for the people, I see in my support groups. I haven't added one for cancer yet. I don't know why I don't feel ready to be in a support group for that, but I just don't, not yet. And, but I am still in my ones for Crohn's colitis, and my heart just bleeds seeing people, asking questions about disability and Social Security and, how long does it take to get approved for this and what do you have to do, and people losing their jobs or people being sick as hell and being at work, and, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking seeing it, and it is 60% of the feed because it is a big deal when you have a chronic illness. And then, also, right now I'm dealing with the fear of chemo on Friday because I'm feeling better. I'm feeling a lot better than I have since my first chemo. So I keep calling this like my good week, you know. And I know once Friday comes, it's going to be a very long time before I feel better again. And that's scary. And, you know, they say the second and third chemo's worse and then it evens out. So it's kind of like, what do I expect? And on top of that, I have to go to my pain management doctor on Wednesday to get my pain medicine refilled. And I need to be able to explain to her why it needs to be upped while I'm doing this without her like thinking like I'm an addict or some crap, because you have to prove that you're not like a crazy pillhead just to be able to get your medication. And what I am on now will not, I know from last time, cover how my pain is when the chemo starts again. And last time my doctor, my oncologist, filled it, but they had forgotten I have a pain management doctor. And really, you don't normally do that because you have to sign a contract with them where you don't go to other doctors, you don't go to other pharmacies, and basically it's, safeguards to make sure that you're not abusing the system and finding ways to get more medication just because you're abusing it, which I completely understand. I would rather have my oncologist handle it because they are so more on top of their game than my pain management doctor's office is. They are a pain in the ass to deal with. And now I'm seeing his nurse practitioner, and she's just, I hate it. I know I need to contact and say I want to see my actual doctor, but I just haven't done it with everything that's going on. And all of that's an excuse. It's just mainly because I don't want to deal with it. But I have to see her on Wednesday and, try to explain why this needs to be upped and hope that she does it. So that I can be somewhat pain-free for the week or two after my chemo. Because the body aches are just, I can't describe them to you. It is way worse than any flu I've ever had. You feel it in your bones. That's how bad it hurts. So there's a lot of anxiety, and my brain kind of going 90 to nothing today. I need to rest because, that fundraiser, it was amazing. I had so much fun. Everyone was so sweet and donating and everything. It was just so touching, and the people on the live that don't even know me that seem to start caring about me now and following my story. It's just insane to me, and the feeling of being blessed is just overwhelming. But it was a whole night. We didn't go to sleep till 7 in the morning, and I'm still recovering from that. My body is still hurting, and I'm still really tired, and it's just because I'm weak and I can't currently, do things that I used to do. And even before chemo, I was not staying up all night. If I had my insomnia going, I was on the couch watching TV. I wasn't walking around talking to people. So, and I did have a moment after they, my head got completed, and they shaved it, and we were in the bathroom washing my hair off, and I was in there with my partner, and I just kind of broke down for a minute because it was this is the first thing that cancer's taken from me. I had shaved my head last year because the Crohn's I couldn't take coming out of the shower and having handfuls of my hair falling out. So I shaved it in November. So this is like 9 months of growth that I had done, and babied my hair and taken, biotin and hair, skin, and nail, vitamins and all that kind of stuff to get it back in full, because I've always been known for my red hair. It's, natural, and I pass it down to my daughter, and it's, almost like a way of life. So to have it taken away from me again was really hard, and I did break down. I rearranged how I felt about it in my head, as in, it might have started to fall out, but I finished it. Cancer didn't. I took it instead of cancer, but, it still sucks. It's just hair. But when you're known, my nickname is Red because I have natural red hair, it doesn't seem like just hair. And it scares me to think how I'm going to feel psychologically when I have my mastectomy and I can't have my reconstruction for almost a year after. That's scary. I don't know how I'm mentally going to handle that. And being, seeing that every day. And I've always been known for my curves too. I have an hourglass figure. It doesn't matter what size I am. I've always been known for that too. And to have that part taken away from you, and that it doesn't make me a woman, but it's part of my femininity that's being taken away, is difficult too, you know. But it's like half of what sexual reassignment surgery is. Not that I'm, comparing my journey to somebody who's trans whatsoever. I do not understand their journey because I do not live it. I absolutely support them. I have many trans men in my life that I love very, very much, and I'm very glad to see them living their truth and being so much happier than they ever have been. But that's not me. I feel comfortable in the gender that I was born with. I don't feel any kind of variation in that. So this is not a surgery that I would ever actually want to have. So it's kind of difficult, if that makes any sense. It's like knowing the fact that they have top surgery to, transition and become the person that they were meant to be, makes me feel more like my feminine part of me is being taken away by this surgery. And that's just like how I kind of have been thinking about it in my head, This is the surgery they do to transition a woman into a man, and that's hard for me. Because I am very feminine. So that with the hair and everything, it's a lot today. And I think it's because I had so much going on last week and thinking about the fundraiser and getting Bailey done. And really all I have to do now is today I have to go up and give her shot records and her physical to her school. And then she starts tomorrow. And that's pretty much about it, We don't have another fundraiser happening until September 2nd. In between there, I'm just, doing my chemo and stuff. It's kind of like now is the time where my brain can stop focusing on all the other things that have been going on and were coming up, and just focus on me and what I'm about to go through. And this is the first day I've really had to do that, and it's a lot today. There's good days and there's bad days. Saturday was a great day. It was an amazing day. I had so much fun. And today is still a good day. I'm going to hang out with my kiddo and hopefully have enough energy to take her to get her athletics clothes. I'm not sure yet. Depends on how I feel when I come back from her school, but it's still going to be a good day. But mentally, this is what I have going on in the back of my head. Constant. Because I do have an anxiety disorder, so it's constant. Reeling over and over again, like in a circle. Like I'm running like a little hamster on a wheel. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this? The what ifs are killing me today. I hate living in limbo. Hate it. Give me all the information, let me know what's going on, how it's going to go, and let's do it. Like, that's how I am. Not having all the information and having pieces not all put together, that just drives me crazy. So, that's where we are today. This is my new haircut. Once these little things start falling out, I'm going to take a razor to it. See, there's already like a little bald patch right there that's down to the skin. I joked and said I'm not going to have my head looking like the earth with little patches everywhere. So once I get a few more, I'm going to take a razor to it. Eyebrows are kind of coming out. This is eyebrow pencil from the other day. I was a bad girl and didn't wash it off. Eyelashes are starting to go, which is hard because I have a company that I sell mascara. How do you sell mascara without eyelashes? This is what I'm trying to figure out. How do you sell really good mascara that you love? And they've come out with the lash serum to help your lashes grow and stuff like that. and a one set mascara. It's like, how do you sell all that with no eyelashes? I have to figure this out. Jada might be having to wear a lot of mascara on some videos. Or Bailey. It's not gonna be me. I'm not gonna have these babies. They're falling out. Anyway, hope everyone's having a good day. These are my random thoughts. I'll be back. There's not any real set time that I'm doing these in. It's just kind of when I have a time where it's quiet and peaceful and I can just think and kind of yap without any distractions is when I kind of come on here and do this. So I'm not sure when the next one will be, but it'll be soon. Definitely I'll have probably one from me in bed after chemo. Because Netflix and everything gets very boring after a while. You get bored of everything. Reading a book, listening to a book, watching Netflix, watching, binging on shows, coloring, like word churches. You get bored of all of it. All of it. But that's all I got for today. Alright, bye everybody. Love you.